Hello, everybody. Welcome back once more to Anime Yay or Nay. I'm the OutbackAl.
I'm hot for justice.
I'm Chip and Noob.
And I'm NV Jitters.
And we're all back this week with more weekly anime and other anime that we watch. This week we watched Ascendance of a Bookworm, Episode 4, Kabukichou Sherlock, Episode 3, and Tiger and Bunny... What was it? 7 through 9?
Yes.
Or is it 6 through 7 through 9? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I lose my track of things a lot in my life. I lose a lot of time. I don't know. Yeah, we usually started with Ascendance of the Bookworm. Should we just start with there?
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Gav, you got what you wanted, right?
Yep.
We got them going out. What's her name? Maine went out and was dealing with their frail 5-year-old body. But they went out to the forest after training to go out to the forest, and then they made some clay plates, and then people smashed them, and then she had to make more, and then they exploded in an oven.
Yep.
Also,
Pretty
she's
much.
learning to write.
I mean, that was a good 20-second description of the episode, but yeah.
I know there's more, but like it's a slice of life show. You can sum up every episode very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that we really got outside of that was her building, like, more of a stronger, like, friendship with Lutz, and that was about it.
Yeah, which is creepy when you think about the fact that she's like 20.
Yeah.
I just hope they keep it to friendship and nothing beyond that.
That kid looks smitten. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, I mean, he's alright to be smitten. It's just if she's smitten back, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't know. There was no blushing, though. I made sure of it. I was like, please don't blush. Please don't blush. Please don't blush. And there was no blushing, so...
Okay, you're on blush check from now on. For everything. Yeah, so I think she's now expressed to her parents that she wants to make books for a living as opposed to whatever other job that they were looking to get her into. Which,
Cooking!
yeah, because she's a really good cook, and she knows how to make modern dishes of deliciousness that they have never seen before or tasted of. And, this brings me back to my point that I made a while ago, I think, that, you know, if you want books in medieval times, you have to be rich. How do you get rich? Make something that people want to buy and then sell it. She's made like 8 things that people want, and yet she doesn't sell any of them.
I don't think she's thought that far, I had to tell you the truth. I think she's got the simple mind of, if I want book, I got to do it the old-fashioned way instead of what you're suggesting.
Okay, I get that, but she's surrounded by other people, adults, her sister, other people. The one kid, we found out Lutz wanted to be a merchant. And yet no one has ever brought up anything to her about, like, hey, you should take this great idea you have and sell it to people because they're definitely going to want to buy it from you. I don't know. I'm waiting on them to figure something out. Because, like, seriously, medieval pancake house? Fantastic. Shampoo for when you barely have soap? Fantastic.
Mean stew?
A mean stew goes a long way.
Pretty good.
So, yeah, and she made clay tablets and almost made papyrus, and she's, like, made hair care accessories, and, like, she could easily create a line of cosmetics shit that every woman in that city would buy, and she would be, like, the richest person there at the age of 5.
Mm-hmm.
And yet.
Yeah.
What did you guys think of this episode?
I definitely thought it was a lot better than last week's episode, personally. Although I have to admit, the scene where the 2 boys smashed their clay tablets got me more mad than I thought. Than I normally would have gotten mad. Like, I was fuming internally watching that. It's like, what kind of assholes just smashes that for no good reason? I know they're probably like 6, but like, come on.
Yeah, I felt for her there. And then I guess she got magic anger powers.
Yeah, I was like I'm like, the eyes were just a very rainbow kaleidoscope, and I'm like...
She was glowing like a Super Saiyan.
Like, honestly, I'm not really loving this show. I'm very bored with it. The only thing I really want to see now is where that comes in. So,
I'm in the same boat. I'm bored. And I don't know that I care where it comes in.
fair enough.
What about everybody else? Gav, you haven't really given us your thoughts on this episode that much. Other than you got your clay tablets.
I liked this episode. I don't know. Like, I like the series.
Okay. What did you like?
In the pass.
What were you enjoying?
It's just cute. I don't know. I just like how cute it is, and I like the different little, like, side plots that are going on with her teaching, like, the students how to read and write and stuff, and with her creating more things, and I think like, her being magical thing's kind of interesting, and I want to see where that goes.
I mean, I get it. I know how this is going to definitely appeal to some people, but I'm just kind of... It's a little boring on my end. And I'm just going to throw this out there. This has nothing to do with whether it's good or bad or not, but has anyone else noticed that the way they draw teeth makes everyone look like they have beaver teeth?
Yes.
I wasn't really paying attention to the
Making sure
teeth,
it
but
wasn't
now
me.
that you mention that, I'm gonna look at that next episode.
Well, every single time I see their teeth, like, I keep thinking of Timmy Turner.
Yes. Yes.
And how his two front teeth are basically shaped like an upside-down tombstone with a line through it.
I think that the art style is very cute, but when people smile with their mouth open, they look like a beaver on LSD or something.
Wow.
I got no... I don't really have another way of describing it. They just look weird. It's sort of like this, like... Every time I see it, I feel like I'm waiting for, like, a sound, like, to come out.
Okay, can someone draw fan art of Maine as Timmy Turner now?
I'm sure it exists. Maybe. You know, she got magical powers. Maybe she's Wanda. Did you ever think about that? There's possibilities.
I don't know, man. That's one theory I'm very questionable on.
No, I don't think that's the case either. But
But yeah, going back, I'm kind of more with Gav. I can see where now are coming from, and I can also see where Gav is coming from. I'm kind of in the middle where I like the story, I like where it's going, but I also can see why it would be a little slow paced or boring to some people. So it all depends on what you personally.
yeah,
So-
it's more of a personal preference thing, I think, and I just
Yeah.
tend to not lean towards slice of life very much myself.
I mean, neither do I. It's just the premise was what got me to watch the show and recommend it to begin with.
It's a good premise.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I feel like at this point, for as deep as we are into the series, because next will be episode 5.
Yep.
If we're gonna drop it, we have to drop it now. Otherwise, we're gonna have to stick with it for a while, because if we pick up another show, we're gonna have to watch like 4 or 5 episodes just to get into it. And it's like, if that's not a decent one, then it's like we're just gonna be flipping around to a bunch of different shit. We're gonna have to like start watching a ton of stuff. So, I think
I mean,
need
we're
to-
kind of in the same boat that we were last week. 2 yays and 2 nays. So
Yeah, so is that still what the consensus is?
I believe so.
Okay.
We need a tiebreaker in here.
Yeah, well, we don't have a whole lot of...
Options,
Yeah.
yeah.
I could throw this out there. If you guys are interested. And this is going to probably make things a little bit weird moving forward if we do it. But
Okay.
me and Chippy really aren't into this one.
No.
The two of us could just go watch something else.
That's true.
And you guys could continue on with this thing if you want. And because it could be good because, one, we get a couple more shows in here because like we're only doing like 3 shows a season unless we drop something, but like still It's not a ton and I don't think we get like a lot of all the different flavors of the season, though I doubt we're ever going to be able to do that just in general. But could be good to maybe do something like that. But at the same time, it could make things a little confusing, especially if we're explaining stuff that you guys haven't seen, and then it's like, well, what's happening? I don't get it. And
well, we could try to maybe keep it like spoiler free as possible. But like maybe sort of explain like what happens in the episodes.
I get what you're saying there, but I feel like as a series, as we keep going, no matter what, the further you go into a series, it's gonna get into spoiler territory, especially as you get closer to the end of a series. You're gonna have spoilers, or you can't talk about the episode at all.
That's true.
So, what are your guys' thoughts on that idea?
I don't care.
That is extremely helpful.
Sorry.
No, I mean, I guess this one wouldn't affect you as much. You'd just be doing the same thing as you would be doing before. So, Chibi, what do you think?
I'm personally like okay with watching something else, but yeah, it is a bit weird if we try to explain things and then, like, in case they do want to watch it later, we get into spoiler territory, so, meh. I don't really know.
I mean, if you guys are okay with the possibility of spoilers, I mean, that's all up to you guys. I'm not personally going to have a problem if you guys spoil this show for me, because I don't really care at this point.
Yeah.
But
we kind of already know where it's going at this point.
yeah, we did
Maybe.
kind of see the end at the beginning.
I mean, the way that I tend to watch anime, I'll probably end up watching a show that I'm already watching, so I can join you in the conversation. So it's
Okay.
yeah.
Well, in that regard, Chibi, what do you think? You wanna watch something else for next week between the two of us?
Sure.
Okay, I'm gonna look real quick, because I know we had some other polls on YouTube and Twitter for shows we were gonna watch that replaced Pet, because we. By the way, Pet, you told me recently something about that. It got delayed or something.
Yes, it's still being delayed. The release date has not been announced yet.
Goodness gracious. Well, yeah. So the top one was Ascendance of a Bookworm. The next one is Chubu Gekihatsu Boy.
Which is about
I think that was about a high school full of megalomaniacs.
Was that the one that
Yeah.
Gab wanted? Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. Yep.
Should we not do that one just in case you want to watch it later?
I mean,
yeah.
unless you want to replace Ascendance with that one, and then at the end of the season, me and Gav can do like a quick recap or something like that.
I don't know, because, like, my whole thing is it's kind of hard enough for me to watch, like, 5 episodes a week
Yeah,
as
I get
it
that.
is. So,
Hang on, I'm gonna look up the other list real quick, because we had some other ones that were like, there was a bunch that were like kind of starting a little bit later, so there might be less episodes of them, which could be good.
Yeah, that's fine. And just hopefully there's something great. Good.
I don't know. I feel like I've heard stuff that like B-Stars was good. I think I called that one furry murder porn or something. But
I mean,
That one's going to be hard to find because it's one of the Netflix is holding out the first 12 episodes until they can release it. on
okay,
the
well,
bootleg
that's all,
site.
that answers that question.
right. Lovely.
Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Netflix,
Yeah.
for being
They can't do
Netflix.
weekly.
Would it hurt them to do weekly every now and then? I don't think it kills other streaming sites.
I don't know.
It's their whole thing, binging.
Netflix is all about the binge session, so...
I do like binging.
Well, it is easy to get a whole series, like, out of the way.
Yeah.
You can, like, literally, like, take a weekend afternoon and just, like, start in the morning, finish, like, before dinner.
Yeah. I don't know. We'd have to go in depth to look at some of the other series to watch.
Yeah.
And see how much time we'd actually have to do it in.
That's
so
true.
maybe Chibi, you and me will discuss that off the recording, because we don't want to waste too much time on it. But yeah, for next week, I guess Gav and Envy will be continuing with Ascendance of a Bookworm, and Chibi and I will not be. Because yeah.
Alrighty then.
That all sound good?
Yeah.
All right. Moving on to something I'm assuming everyone has been enjoying. You want to talk about Kabukichou Sherlock?
Woo!
So, did we mention before that this is apparently a 24-episode anime?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure, because this is going to be going into next season as well.
We'll have it for leftovers.
That's true, and we're getting into November soon, and what's better than Thanksgiving leftovers? So this time around, what happened this time? I just watched this today. I think I got caught up in a little more of the comedy of this one. I do laugh at this one a lot more. There was a murder, and someone's being framed for the murder. His name is Pooh.
Yep.
Which is, yeah, that's the name. And Cosmo and Gaia and a bunch of weird names for that family.
Yeah, well, so the Uncle Cosmos, he was, I guess, wrote a will.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave everything to Pooh, his nephew.
It is funny.
To nephew Pooh. And so him and Pooh were having dinner and
They was getting
going
drunk.
going over the will, getting drunk, that kind of good stuff. And so I guess that Pooh got so drunk that he passed out, and when he woke up, Cosmos was dead, and the room was on fire, and there was a bloody knife in his hand.
Yeah, generally not a great way to wake up. I've been there, and it's not fun. I have a life outside of this,
I mean, we know that. But...
So, everyone thinks Pooh did it, and the, I guess the owner of the club that the detectives frequent is
Yeah, we need to find out. Mrs. Hudson.
Yeah.
Is that really
Yeah.
their name?
Yeah, Mrs. Hudson.
Oh, God, that's
That's
perfect.
Mrs. Hudson.
I was about to be we need to know
221B
this
Baker
person.
Street.
You're right. You're right.
It's
I didn't think about that.
It's oh, okay, I am interested in Pooh, so I'm going
This just
to...
shows how immature I am that I laugh at it every time you say it.
Well, no,
So-
because Mrs. Hudson starts dancing with a yellow teddy bear.
Yeah, she wants some poo and wants to give Pooh some honey.
Yeah. So...
Did you not get that
So
before?
No, I'm just discontinue.
So she's okay, get Pooh's prove Pooh's innocence. So Sherlock and the clean detective,
We should say it's an S
The guy
class
who looks
mission.
like a Persona character.
I was gonna say yeah.
Fugoku, I think is his name.
Sherlock, OCD, and I think we were was there one other person or was it just the two of them?
There was one other person too, but I forget which one.
Yeah, probably the guy who he's just kind of a loser.
It was some older guy.
I thought he passed on it.
No.
Alright.
And so yeah, they took the case, And anyone else want to start describing it?
Well, Moriarty had a birthday, and a bunch of drag queens gave him a calendar, and I don't think he was very interested. But anyway, back to the actual case. So they go to the it's like a penthouse, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe. Yes. And they're looking over the crime scene. They're figuring out, like, well, here's what the body was, here's what the, they're each going about it their own way. And there's this singer, rock star, whoever, Bezo, who OCD is super into. And he's like his idol. And he's like, I'm going to solve this and blah, blah, blah.
Who also has a tendency to end his phrases with English words.
Yeah, he speaks English a lot. There's a lot of English in this show.
Which is really funny. Like, his speaking style
he's
pretty entertaining.
Yeah, he's a personality. So, and they're going over, like, the crime scene and, like, what happened, and they're, like, contacting the family and trying to see if they can piece together, how did it happen, who else was there, if there was anyone else there, because the security cameras didn't show anything, apparently. Mm-hmm. And OCD seems to have figured it out, and Sherlock's pissed about it. He throws a bit of a tantrum, because he's like, I don't get it, but he goes to see Pooh's mom, and they find out that there was some gambling debts going on between the dad and his brother. And I guess they were kind of bringing Pooh into it a little bit. And they also found out that Pooh is very squeamish. That's why he was studying to be a doctor, but he was like, he couldn't stand the sight of blood, so he became a lawyer instead. And that was like a big thing for like Sherlock. He got hung up on that for a while because he was like, well, it's like he's squeamish. He wouldn't stab someone because of that, and he's way too smart to like be so dumb in all of this. And he finds some love letters in Pooh's mom's room, and he goes back to the crime scene. He has the bloody knife that he found at Pooh's house, because Pooh didn't know what to do with it. He was going to go to jail if they found it, so he hid it. I get that, but OCD is like, Pooh has done it, and they're like, dude, that's we were supposed to prove that he was innocent. He's like, but I had to do it for justice. And he's like trying to impress the rock star dude, and then he's like calling whoever while other people are doing their thing, and Sherlock's about to leave with the knife in his pocket when the rock star says, hey, you're going to walk away with that knife in your pocket? And he's like, how did you know I had a knife in my pocket? There was no one else in the room when I put that in there, so how did you know about that? Also, this and this, and apparently Uncle Cosmos was in love with Pooh's mom, but she chose his brother over him, which I guess really pissed him off. I would get it. It would piss me off, too, if that sort of thing happened. But he determines that Cosmos is not dead, and in fact, Pooh's father was there at dinner with them. And whenever he knocked out Pooh, he killed his brother. Cosmo killed his brother, put him in Cosmo's clothes, and then set the fire to make it look like Pooh had killed Cosmo. And they're like, well, how can you prove all of that? And like, where's Cosmo? And then there was a mirror above the bed in a very Vegas style. And Sherlock just throws a knife at it, and turns out there's an apartment up there, and Cosmo falls out of the roof.
Yep.
So, Sherlock wins, yet again. Saves the day, saves the innocent person from persecution, and finds the murderer as always, and implicates the rock star as well, because he was complicit in the whole thing, making him an accomplice.
Yep. To which the OCD is basically like, no!
My hero.
Goodbye, Bezo. But yeah.
Yep. Good for him.
Oh, and then also we had an interesting little tidbit with Moriarty at the end. He has a notebook with 3 like flattened clovers. Didn't he call his sisters clovers at one point?
I know he mentioned that they were representative of his sisters, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I am wondering if they're going to make
staring at it with a very vacant look. It
Yeah,
seems
so there's some
kind
sort
of
of
ominous.
some sort of thing going on with that. My wondering is whether they're going to also make him Jack the Ripper, and they're like little reminders of his trophies.
Oh yeah. Maybe.
But yeah, we also got a little glimpse at Watson's thing, that he was a doctor, and then he had done the autopsy on one of the Jack the Ripper victims. He had found a transmitter on them, and I guess it had kind of like got covered up or something, or like people started following him, and bad things started happening. Yeah, I guess his apartment might have burned down.
Maybe.
And he had to get out of town and escape, and then had to go find Sherlock. So, a little glimpse into him. What did everybody think about this episode?
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. Part of the thing that I enjoy this series, and I enjoy, like, it's kind of funny, and it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of like, it makes you think a little bit, like, as far as the mysteries go. My only problem with this, and I kind of also have this problem a little bit with the actual Sherlock Holmes books, is that though they give you clues, they usually don't give you enough context to figure it out yourself.
Yeah.
Which is like the one thing where I'm kind of like, well, I would have liked to have solved this along with you. And it's...
Which is kind of like how with mystery novels it's a little more easy to do that, considering like you're finding all the clues with them.
Yeah.
But how Sir Arthur Conan Doyle wrote it, it's kind of like you're supposed to think he's amazing from picking up all of this stuff because he's not giving you any of these other hints.
Well, I think that the books have an advantage because they are from a single person's perspective. They're from Watson's perspective. And if Watson doesn't understand what's going on, we're not going to understand what's going on either. So I'm kind of okay with that. But with the show, it's not just from Watson's perspective. We're also seeing things that Watson is not witnessing. We're seeing things that Sherlock's witnessing, which I feel like means that it should be maybe explained a little bit so that we can be in on it. But I feel like a lot of stuff that involves Sherlock Holmes tends to do that anyway. So I can't say it's a complaint that I have just for this show. So, yeah. But other than that, the little theater thing he does, it's weird, but it's kind of fun. Whenever he decides to start doing it, and you're like, okay, we're getting to the good part. And he always has like a little joke at the end, and... yeah. I forget what this one was, but it had something to do with boners.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah. That's always a good little bookend to end on. I guess Watson's now living with him because Hudson wants a walk-in closet. I'm waiting for Gladstone. Where's Gladstone going to be?
I don't know.
Anyway, don't really see much in the way of major plot happening other than the Watson stuff, which hopefully we're going to start seeing a little bit more of. I mean, now that he's living with Sherlock.
Yeah.
If he can even care about him at all.
I think he does in his own way. He might just be like an antisocial individual. Doesn't really express things.
I mean, his only expressions to him is do chores around the house.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this one's still a yay for me.
Same.
I'm having fun with it.
Yeah.
We'll have to see where it goes moving forward, and yeah, so we'll continue watching to episode 4 for next week.
Yep.
Moving on to our older show that we're watching this season, Tiger and Bunny, 7 through 9. Who wants to take this one?
I can't remember the episodes in order.
Let me see here. Well, we should start where we left off from last time with the
flame
villain.
dude.
Yeah. Yeah, so we had just Previously on Tiger and Bunny, Next had killed the guy in the mech suit from last time, and he used a flaming crossbow of death, and Bunny went after him. Tiger followed, and they're like trying to figure out who this guy is, and he's kind of Iron Man flying around with like his fire powers, and he's really good. And they really can't nail him down.
Yeah, he calls himself Lunatic, and he's about punishing all criminals regardless of what they've done in the past.
I'm just going to say, I have a sidebar. He looks stupid. Does anyone else feel that way?
Yeah, he kind of does.
I'm like... I know he's crazy, but, like, you know, you could do a better job making your costume, or, like, something a little bit more, like... I don't want to say sensible, but, like... I don't know. Just something about it's like, it just looks like a dumb costume. But, yeah. So he's doing that, and he's fighting with Bunny, because Bunny's like, are you from Ouroboros? And, you know... You're killing all your leads. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, dude. I'm just killing the bad people, and I'm doing a better job than you are at your own job. Yeah, suck on that. And you know, Tiger and Bunny try to stop him. He gets away, and yeah, it leads us into the next episode.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we get a little bit more backstory. First off, on Barnaby, and like he'd been looking for Ouroboros for a long time, and he's having trouble with his memories. The fire happened, and he can't see the person's face, and he's like, if I could just know who that was. But he's kind of back to square one, since this guy has nothing to do with Ouroboros, apparently.
Yeah.
But we have a villain, which is nice.
We have a villain who's voiced by Liam O'Brien.
Yep. I wanted to bring up voices this week. But yeah, Liam O'Brien. Which did anyone else remember the other character who was voiced by Liam O'Brien?
Vincent.
Or who was that?
No, Yuri Lowenthal was Sasuke. Okay. No, I meant in this show, but
okay.
Oh well, yeah, the lawyer.
Like, literally, the next
judge,
episode is like,
dude.
You both have the exact same voice. Unless this is a Goku situation from Tokyo Mew Mew, in which case, yeah, they're not actually the same person.
They are.
The judge.
They totally are.
But I thought you meant, do you remember that he was voice Vincent?
Yeah, no, I remember
Throwback.
That. Yeah.
Throwback
to our first couple episodes. If anyone's watched, go watch it. It's good. It's not good. But it could be good. You don't know. I could be lying or not lying. You won't know until you watch it.
But it was, like, funny because the judge's voice was like Vincent's voice. And then the villain, like, his villain form... Oh, God, what's his name again?
Ergo Proxy?
No.
The name of the show?
No, I know that. I'm talking about the other guy. The villain in... Tiger and Bunny.
Lunatic.
And then Lunatic sounds like Ergo Proxy.
Yeah, that's he's got his little Jekyll and Hyde thing going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It is good work. You know, while we're on the subject of voice actors and that, I know we mentioned Tiger's guy, and we know that Bunny is voiced by Sasuke, and, you know, whoever you associate him with. But
Yosuke,
I guess. But I want to like point out, like, does anyone notice the one dude, the guy who keeps wanting to fire Tiger?
Yeah.
I think his name is Mr. Lloyds. He is voiced by one of my favorite voice actors, Darren Norris. Who?
Oh, I've heard of him.
He's like, this guy. If you know him, you definitely know him. But, like, he's one of those guys like Tom Kenny who's, like, been in throughout your entire childhood, but you don't, like, readily see it right away or hear it. But he's, like, been in, like, 400 TV shows and movies, animated or otherwise. And this is gonna get you. He's the voice of Cosmo. And Timmy's dad, and Jorgen von Strangle.
Yep.
God!
Yep,
And
he was Gordy from Edge Declassified.
and
I love him!
and Cowboy Andy from Cowboy Bebop.
Ooh.
And Vincent from the Cowboy Bebop movie.
Ah.
Like, he's been in so many things, and like he is, like, no matter what, he is always entertaining.
He agreed.
So I just wanted to point that out. If you don't know him, look him up. He's hilarious. He is a wonderful human being. And yeah, so back to the actual thing. Speaking of Mr. Lloyd's and everything else that's going on, they kind of have to go on a PR tour because a lot of people are saying, like, well, maybe the Lunatics does a better job at dealing with criminals than the actual heroes do. So they're going around picking up trash and visiting the elderly and going to the Hero Academy or whatever to talk to the new Dekus and whatnot.
And we get pretty much this episode is basically Origami Cyclone's backstory.
Yeah, the guy in the background gets an episode.
Mm-hmm.
Which is nice. He's voiced by someone else. I gotta look him up real quick, because...
His Japanese voice actor was very familiar. I'm like, who is this voice? I know this voice.
I watched the dub.
I know you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I switched to the dub. And yeah, it is a good dub.
Yeah. His name is Ivan, but he does not sound Russian.
Well, probably has been living in America.
Maybe. He is played by Michael Sinterklaas. I recognize him from something. I'm gonna look it up. Hang on.
Okay.
You guys keep talking about the thingy while I'm doing that.
I mean, it turns out him and another kid, I can't remember his name, they went to like a superhero school, and he was supposed to be his friend was supposed to be the main hero, not him, but they tried to stop a bank robber, and he froze in the middle of when he was trying to stop save the guy from the bank robbers, and the guy accidentally kills a bystander, and so he's convicted of, I guess.
I thought he was shooting the hostage.
Oh yeah, he shot the hostage.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, it's okay.
Yeah,
now I know where I recognize him from.
Hostage.
Did any of you guys watch Venture Brothers?
No.
Oh, okay, never mind. Sorry, continue. Yeah.
No, he accidentally shot the hostage, and so he's convicted of, I guess, accidental manslaughter or murder, and so he swears vengeance on Origami for basically, it's not his fault, but he blames him for taking away his superhero career, and so...
Yeah, because he didn't really jump in to help him out.
Because technically they're not supposed to use their powers outside of school.
Yeah, you're not ready for this shit.
And it's funny how you were mentioning Deku. But yeah, this episode reminded me of a My Hero Academia episode, even though this came out 5 years before at My Hero Academia.
Yeah. Oh, wait a minute. I have not watched this, but I think you have. What's the Miraculous Ladybug?
Yes!
He's Nathaniel Kurtzberg?
Oh! I
know
remember
you
him.
watched that.
Yeah.
Who's in Your Name? Oh, dude, he dubbed the main dude from Your Name. Good for him. I've not watched the dub of that yet. But yeah, so Sandman's out for revenge.
Mm-hmm.
And decent powers, by the way. We find out what Ivan's actual powers are, and it has nothing to do with being a ninja.
No, he's literal origami.
Yeah, he's a shapeshifter who can transform into anybody. Which,
Honestly, Actually, that's a very useful power.
In the right, like they keep saying throughout the episode, in the right situation, that's a very useful thing to have.
Like, basically, he could play decoy all he wants.
True. The only problem is for, like, superheroes who are, like, public figure, celebrity type things, it's not super useful like that.
No.
Like, because you're not going to have people recognizing you that often.
No. But
Which
what
is
I
a
mean
shame,
is it's
but,
more, like, more on a mission sort of standpoint. It's probably more useful that way.
Yeah, he's an excellent utility player. Mm-hmm. He's just not the big gun who takes all the credit, unfortunately. But, yeah. So, we actually see him use his power pretty effectively in this one. Because Mr. Sandman broke out of prison, which Lunatic doesn't look kindly on that.
Nope.
he shows up again to enact some justice on some people.
He's pulling a light Yagami.
Oh yeah, he is going full Kira. So Ivan tries to pull the whole, oh, he's not the real Sandman, I'm the real Sandman, and tries to save his buddy. Fortunately, Tiger and Bunny show up to save the day and help him out. Tiger gets hit a little bit, and Bunny and him get into it. I think Tiger does land a pretty good punch on Lunatic and cracks his mask, though.
Eek.
So, there's that. He gets away again, as he does. Because, you know, we can't take down the villain this early in the series, but...
Nope.
Yeah, Ivan is still, I guess, still on the rocks a little bit with Sandman, but, you know, things are better. At the very least, he's like, you know what, you deserve to be a hero, and I guess I wasn't ready, and blah, 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 and things are resolved, and Origami Cyclone's gonna get out there in the front again, and try to be a better hero instead of just a sponsor mascot. So, good for him.
Yeah.
And then, so far, we've had episodes for Blue Rose, Origami Cyclone, and now it's time to have one for Dragon Kid.
I gotta be totally honest, after this episode, she's already in my top 3 characters.
Dragon Kid?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fun. I like that her aesthetic is Bruce Lee in Enter the Dragon.
Oh, yeah, there's no denying.
Yeah. She's a kung fu master with lightning powers, and she's a tomboy and doesn't particularly like people telling her to be more ladylike. Which I'm like, you know, do your thing. You don't gotta be a lady to kick ass, and she knows it. But yeah, I think the big thing about this is like this is kind of a episode about parents and connections to your kids and stuff like that,
yeah.
and whether or not, you know, they're received well or not.
Yeah, Tiger has to watch the mayor's baby because they think that that he's going to be in danger, and so
yeah, there's been kidnappings lately.
The baby only calms down whenever what was her name?
Paulin.
Yeah.
Paulin.
Yeah.
Paulin. Yeah, I'm not gonna get it.
Yeah, the baby only calms down whenever she's with him. So Tiger's, hey, let's stay at Barnaby's place and let's watch the baby. 3 of us.
It's like I think they're setting up for like some sort of 3 men and a baby kind of situation. I don't think like it goes full 3 men and a baby, but you know, it gets there. Oh, the thing is a next with telekinetic powers, which is a terrible thing for a toddler to have.
A baby, not just a toddler. A
baby. But yeah, part of the reason they did pick Tiger is because he's one of the few people who has a kid. He's a dad, so
he's a single dad.
Yep, single father.
To which apparently Blue Rose, like, basically broke. It was like, daughter, wife, what?
He has a wife and daughter.
Huh? And I'm just like,
well, he's got a daughter.
Sweetie.
He doesn't really have a wife anymore, but you know.
Are you okay?
Somebody had sex with him? What the hell?
Hey, I would. He's a good-looking guy. No, but yeah. Yeah, she had a bit of a conniption there.
Uh-huh.
I mean, everyone did. Everyone was surprised. It's like, wait, you have family outside of this?
Well, not everybody. I think, like, Antonio, Rock Bison knew. I think, like, he's probably one of his closer friends on the team.
Yeah.
So.
I think...
Yeah, but everyone else was kind of like, what?
Those two actually know each other pretty well.
Oh, yeah, they definitely do. But I think everyone else was sort of like, what? You were responsible enough to have a child?
Just because you're a goof doesn't mean that you can't take care of kids.
I mean, I know
but he
part
doesn't
of it is
take care of
he
her.
doesn't take care of his kid. I mean,
That's
you
true.
can argue part of it is keeping her out of danger, like out of the city and away from his other life, kind of thing. I don't know how great of father that he would be, but at the same time, I know he's going to give it his all to do it. So you got to give him points for that.
Yeah.
And he kind of tries to give it all. He tries to give it his all here with the baby thing. It's just that it doesn't like him.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so the baby stays over. Dragon Kid stays over. Tiger and Bunny have a bit of a bonding moment with Tiger's shirt off.
Yep.
And then apparently they have a bender.
Yep.
I didn't count how many bottles and cans they had, but they drank whatever Barnaby had. And the Dragon Kid takes the kid for a walk in the morning, as you do. You know, they have to poop and whatnot, so you got to take them for a walk. I'm like, yeah, babies are like dogs, right?
No.
No?
No.
Damn. Well, I'm not ready to be a father.
Well, why would you take the kid outside if you know that the kid is in danger of being kidnapped?
She's a superhero. What's she got to worry about?
I mean, I get it, but still.
Lo and behold, the Smelly Sisters show up. I say the Smelly Sisters. They don't smell, but they have a power to smell things. One can smell...
One smells money, one smells lies, and the other one
Yeah.
smells danger.
Yeah, which is a decent combination of abilities there, I guess. The money one's a little more situational, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, they being the ones kidnapping kids and ransoming them and all that good stuff. So they kidnap the kid, the baby, and Dragon Kid. And they're holding them hostage. And the one who smells danger is kind of like watching them and being like, you know, your parents really care about the kid. Look, that the flower thing on the hat that the baby has, it's supposed to be about health and that. And like, there was a thing earlier about Dragon Kid's parents, and like they sent her a pin that she doesn't like wearing. It's like a hairpin with a flower on it, and she doesn't like it because it looks girly. But like, we keep going back to like things about like things that parents give their children, and it's because they care. And you know, even if the child might not be the perfect thing for them, sometimes it's like one of those the thought that counts kind of.
Especially like
things.
the significance behind the gift
Yeah.
that the kid doesn't necessarily know right away.
Right.
Which is brought up with the baby's like knitted cap.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're figuring out the whole ransom thing. They call the phone number that they assume is the mom, but it's actually Miss Agnes. Mm-hmm. Which, yeah. And they're like, okay, we gotta save the baby because you guys are idiots. And they're trying to figure out how to get out of the hostage situation. And people start smelling all the lies and the no money and then superhero shenanigans. And Tiger gets distracted very easily. But yeah, the one sister starts smelling danger, figures out that Dragon Kid is in next. And then the baby starts throwing a tantrum and turns their RV upside down and nearly blows up the warehouse that they're in.
Yep.
Which it's like, this baby needs like some kind of inhibitor collar on it. But, yeah, so Dragon Kid does some awesome kung fu stuff. Takes down the bad guys, gets the baby out, and Tiger and Bunny arrest them, and Tiger kind of like holds up this shock pistol that they have, and Barnaby gets like you get another PTSD flashback of the whole of his parents being murdered thing. I still don't think he's like getting anything out of it though.
No, at least not for now.
But yeah, he's still resolving to do more and whatnot. And the baby gets back to the mare. Dragon Kid starts wearing the clip in her hair because I guess it means thinking about you. Mm-hmm. Like the clip is meant to represent like the parents are constantly thinking about their daughter, which is a nice sentiment. And Tiger goes and calls his daughter because he's like, I gave a hair clip to my daughter like that. Hey, honey, you know that hair clip that I gave you? Do you ever wear that? He's like, oh yeah, that gets used like all the time. Grandma wears it.
And he's like,
yeah.
oh.
Like, this guy can never get a win.
One thing I did like, though, about the episode is that Tiger and Bunny, they did have a heart-to-heart, and they talked more about Bunny's past. And I think this episode really was the first time they actually weren't yelling at each other, and they were actually starting to communicate really well with each other. I appreciated that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can only bicker so long.
Yeah, no, they're starting to work together. They're starting to trust each other a little bit more. We saw that in the other episode with the Diamond guy, where they were kind of in sync for once. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of building from there. But it's we're 9 episodes in. If they haven't started working a little bit together at this point, I'd be worried. But yeah, so. Yeah, how are you feeling about the ships in this? Like, how do I bring this up?
I think I can see why people ship Tiger and Bunny more after this baby episode.
My 2 gay dads.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. Chippy, what are your thoughts on ships?
I mean, my thoughts are that since we've gotten past...
I feel like I threw you under the bus the other week. Did I do something?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
But I think now that they've gotten past just, like, constant bickering, and they're, like, finally starting to form, like, an actual kind of bond, I'm getting into more of the shipping lane with that, but it's, like, very light. Like, I'm not full, oh, yes, I absolutely love the ship, but now,
now
I'm just kind of like, oh, this is kind of cute. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
I always just kind of felt like they've just made good partners after a while. But, yeah.
We know Al's the biggest shipper out of all of us.
Oh, yes.
Since when?
We just know.
Yes, but you don't know what they are.
Okay.
Incognito tab, man. You'll never find out.
Hey.
Oh my gosh.
Watch it be Garfield and Naruto.
Watch that this week. That's a thing. That's a thing for this week. We recorded another thing, so that's watch that this week.
AKA Monster Prom.
Yeah. Monster Prom. Good times. Yeah. We have any other thoughts here? I'm still enjoying the show. Everybody else having a good time with it? You didn't get
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we'll be continuing on with this into episode 10 through 12, I believe, right? Which we're getting about to, like, I think the halfway point.
Yeah, it has, like, what, 24 episodes?
Yeah, so I think we're going to be getting to the mid-season finale soon.
Ooh.
So that'll be interesting. I remember it. I think you guys will like it. So, but yeah. So that's happening. Any other things for this week?
Not that I can really think of. Did we mention that Tiger and Bunny got moved off Netflix, now on Hulu? We did? Did we?
I feel like we did last week. I'm still pirating it, so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, I think we did mention that last week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so next week if you'd like to continue with Ascendance of a Bookworm, Gavin Envy will be watching episode 5. Check out our community tab or the Twitter or whatever, because we'll probably announce on there what we're going to be watching as far as me and Chibi goes instead of Ascendance of a Bookworm, since we're not going to be watching that anymore, but we're probably going to be watching like a couple episodes of it to start. Maybe not all of them, like maybe we'll do 1 or 2, because like we have a lot of other things to watch anyway. But watch on social media, because we'll announce it there. We'll be continuing with Kabukichou Sherlock, episode 4 next week. And Tiger and Bunny, episode 10 through 12 as well. So,
Yep.
that's it for this week, except for the Anime Yay or Nay movie of October, which was Steins Gate the movie. Steins Gate, what was it called? Load Revision of Deja Vu or something? Load Region?
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, Load Region of Deja Vu, which I just watched today on YouTube. It's still on there, so I don't know why no one's taken it down. But yeah, you can find that there if you haven't already watched it, or just give it a watch. It's a pretty good movie, and we'll be discussing our thoughts on it in the other podcast that'll come out today. So be sure to check that out, and whatever else we do on this channel. So. Yeah, I think that's it. Any other final thoughts?
Nope.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, thanks for watching, and if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and ring the bell icon for notifications. If you enjoyed this video, give us a like, and if you haven't already, check out some of our previous episodes, our daily gaming videos, or our parody series, Madoka Magically Abridged. See you next time!